What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hack Connects. In this video, we got Connect number 8, Tim, the creator of the Sojourn Market. Welcome to the platform.
Bless, appreciate you. Appreciate you for having me. You said 8.
I did.
I'm looking at your logo, and your logo says 8. And I was about to say this before we jumped on. That speaks to divine transformation. So I just want to connect that to lend that to the discussion as far as transformation, as far as what it means to progress. And so big ups to you on creating Hack Connects and the platform altogether.
I appreciate that. It means a lot. And, like I mentioned before, even before Hack Connects, I definitely think, what you're doing is remarkable. And, you're definitely someone I wanted to come on the platform when I did, get everything up and running. I like what you're doing in the community, definitely bringing awareness, bringing a lot of, just knowledge to people in areas where they may not be able to access, different awareness, whether it's holistic healing, whether it's the food, dieting, and just overall wellness. So, it's remarkable what you're doing. I'm happy, you came on.
Bless. Thank you for having me.
No, for sure. Yeah. Before we get into the questions, you want to just give a quick background about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Tim. For all of you who do not know, I am the visionary of the Sojourn Market. The Sojourn Market is a subsidiary to the organization that I founded called Noah's Dove. Noah's Dove was founded in 2019. It was from a place of giving back to New Haven community. And it comes from a place of recognizing not only the things that we could do better, but the things that will create a community that's a little more peaceful, to respond to certain things that are happening within our communities. It came from a place also recognizing, specifically as the market is concerned, as its subsidiary, recognizing that we have a tremendous health issue within our communities. For the record, I studied criminal justice, so finding myself here is a very interesting place, and everything connects. And so I've in some ways connected that back to my criminal justice background and studying deviant behavior, if you will. And I've been reasonably able to connect that back to the food that we consume, the food that we eat, the thoughts that we think, the spaces for which we hold ourselves. All of that connects back to, in some ways, food. So I took an interest in changing my regimen really when I was in school. Before I graduated, it's funny when I tell people this, I put on 20 pounds going into school freshman year. 20 pounds, they say the freshman, I think it's the freshman 15.
Yep.
I succeeded that by 5. So I put on at least 20 pounds freshman year. Soaking wet, I was probably like 120. And end up putting on like another 140, 150 going into 150 freshman year. And my roommate actually at that time suggested he changed his regimen. I didn't know nothing about what he was talking about, but he expressed that, we sat down, we watched a Netflix video. The Netflix video was explaining about all of the injustices within the food system. Long story short, I changed my regimen shortly after that. Started fasting a little more. And once I started to cleanse my body, I started to recognize that there's something here, and I'm gonna leave that there. So that was a really significant part of my journey, just recognizing that food is important, what we put in our bodies is important, and in some ways I'm able to connect that, and I'm still working to connect that back to the criminal justice background for which I've studied. Just real briefly, as far as background goes, I was also very interested in becoming a police officer. So, as far as criminal justice goes, as far as food, I'm still in a space where piecing my desires, my calling, my mission all together and putting it in a tangible, putting it in a way that best expresses what I have in my heart to give to the world.
Dope. And what school did you graduate from?
I went to Quinnipiac.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that's, and that's real, that shows a lot of discipline as far as changing your regimen in college. Cause I feel like as far as the options, well, maybe QU might be a little different, but some schools,
No.
like the meal plans, it's tough to, like you said, get healthy options and really be on a strict diet like that. So that's definitely remarkable.
Mm-hmm. That's real. And you got it correct. Most schools do not have a regimen that is suitable for what they say they desire in the school. If they desire education and people, to learn, not to even mention the education component, but just if they want people to learn, whatever they want people to learn, it's important that the food is also connected to that in some respects. So the food is not even conducive for the learning that they say they desire for their students. And that's real. It's funny because I just got those memories that come back and
Yep.
you pictures. I just like 2 days ago, I got a memory from 2015 with my curly fries and my curly fries and my steak and cheese sandwich. It hurt my stomach looking at it. I looked at it. I was like, I feel how I felt when I ate that, looking at it. So that's real.
It's great to see, looking back at in retrospect, seeing, where we came from and then, to where you're at now. So that's definitely great. So,
Yes, sir.
So you said 2019, the market was created. How's the process been, as far as, originating everything and to where it's at now? Like how would you judge the process and, how's that been in your experience?
The process has been both really rewarding and really challenging. As I even work within myself to develop the leadership skills and qualities necessary to even hold such a thing. It was a very powerful mission when it was given to me, because again, I wanted to satisfy the need of actually having access to fresh produce, having access to products and services that would best suit us as a people in general.
Right.
And so the rewarding aspect of it is the fact that we moved in the midst of what some call a pandemic, what some call a plandemic, what some call we moved within all of the various problems of the day and was able to, at that time, make people smile, make people laugh, connect with people that I wouldn't have otherwise connected to. Was able to give, to share, to speak words of encouragement. It's truly in that sense really bountiful and powerful just in that short amount of time, how much we was able to shift what was and what is a really depressing, frustrating, anxious filled time. So that's the part that was rewarding. As far as the challenge goes, I relate everything now, and I had to get to this point. I relate everything now back to myself. And so the challenge was overcoming the things within me that would have lent itself to be unbecoming of not only the things that transpired around the market, but the organization both and the disorganization and many various components, as well as what it means to allow people in on a sort of teamwork component and the various things that happen while working together with truly amazing people. Like in my experience, I work with amazing people, like out of this world amazing. And so a big challenge was Like imagine putting amazing all in one, in one, in one mason jar. Just put a whole bunch of amazing. I mean, this really was amazing. I think I'll talk about that drink later, but just putting amazing all in one experience, and having that go in various ways, having that be done. I mean, having that the various fruits of it, the various rotten fruits of it, be manifested. So I hope that lends some perspective as it relates to just the challenge of not only working on yourself while you're working on your vision, but as well as um, being a good team player, being a good team member, being a good collaborator, being a good brother, being a good sister, what have you. So um, yeah, I hope that answers just the experience in some respect.
No, for sure. And I could attest to that, and I actually met you in person at the market. And just from the outside looking in, I see the growth. I saw that, you and again the people who also were of help with the market, you guys cleaned up the lot, planted the garden, you know, it was food there. The energy was great, just a great place, to meet people, vibe, and just enjoy, how
Mm.
much New Haven has to offer. I even got a Reiki session, at the market. So that was a memory,
shout out,
sure.
shout out to Lavender and Sage Flow. Shout out to Root Life Organic Media, as well as Root Life. Shout out to Sansao and Arasa Roots. Shout out to Myquela and Marcus. Shout out to Ashley with Osceola Co. Shout out to the lady who walked by and just waved and just say, "Have a blessed day." Just walking by, just have a blessed day. Every time you see her, have a blessed day, and just keep it moving. Shout out to everybody who just added value to the space, to each other. It's really at the end of the day, if you really zoom in on it, it's beyond us. It's beyond the people whose hands are moving in the direction of that creation. It's beyond me. And so as I look and really just zoom in on it, um, not to too much separate myself from it, but it's really what can we give, what can we lend to the world that will better help us to move forward.
That's powerful. And you mentioned some of the people who participated at the market, and some of the vendors. What vendors have you had in the past, and what vendors are you looking for in this upcoming spring season at the market?
Um, my fear in some respect is that I'll leave somebody out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna I've we've had some amazing people and I named some who just really worked in as far as the organization goes, as far as lending advice, the main people to lend advice, the main people to put some energy um, into some and a lot of energy, from that range, some and a lot of energy into the market, into how everything manifested. So that's as far as I'll go as far as the people, but the vending, because a lot of those people who actually were creating or assisting in the creation of the market um, was also vendors, also was encouraged to, start producing something. And um, so, yeah, so it's a wide range of people, from people who make soaps and shea butters, from people who make necklaces. You said the Reiki. Um, we had a lot. We had a lot. Um, and then at moments I recognized that we had a little. It wasn't enough. So I can see both sides of it. But as far as the contributions were a wide range of contributions. Um, Yeah.
Definitely. You can only go up, from the past. So, I definitely, envision, a lot of growth coming from the market. I know you've been making a lot of noise. You got the website going now. I know you've been trying to implement a lot of new things to get more people engaged. So, let's talk about, your social media platform. So, on your page, I feel like it's very diverse, very versatile. You bring awareness to different things, different causes, give different suggestions and tips and advice, like you mentioned on the food and justice. And it's almost like, you definitely just hitting a lot of different areas and, touching, different people. What motivates you to, be consistent and be able to produce and be able to talk to everybody, engage, the community in that light?
Um, I'm gonna jump back and say that um, it started from a place of recognizing that the information wasn't out there enough anywhere, enough that I found it to be. Mind you, everything that we need, everything that we look for, we get. So the information's out there. It's just a matter of how many people is going to share that information so that it's easier to find.
Right.
Um, so as far as the intention behind sharing and putting that information out there is really coming from a place of recognizing that this information is hidden. It's not taught in our schools. It has just become a conversation that's almost mainstream now, heightened by all of the health issues and disparities which are highlighted now, which has been happening for many years. This is not something that's new. It's been around for a while. Um, and I also want to highlight just the how the information gets to the person it's supposed to get to. I want to shout out Facts and Facts Got Moss
Okay.
for a lot of the information that I share. Um, he shared with me as far as um, Dr. Africa, who is very, very prominent in the health community, in the holistic health community, for teaching us, to encouraging us to get back to our original ways of eating, existing, and really looking at the world that um, that is going astray from some of the components or some of the aspects of our sacred knowledge, sacred information. So um, I hope I answered your question. So a lot of it's coming from the the knowing, the inner knowing that this information is not out here like it should be, and also recognizing that the information gets back to the people who needs to know the information to do with it what they do, to
Right.
share it on social media, to create brochures, to create flyers, to have events, um, to have conversation, which with one another, which is how I um, learned about um, Dr. Africa and all the beautiful, amazing work that he's done. So give grace and peace to the ancestor, Dr. Africa, for even um, putting all this work in so that we can share it with the world.
Definitely. I feel like, utilizing social media, we have the platform to, circulate that and, just spread the word and, spread the awareness. So I think, you're doing a great thing and, just keep producing that. I feel like, people need
Right.
a balance and, it's good to see, the positive things and, just stuff like you mentioned that not, it's kind of hidden behind a rock or, you got to do some research to really find out, vital information. So, I definitely appreciate what you're doing for sure.
Bless.
So, you got the website, um, Sojourn Market. What products do you have, available, and what's beyond behind the website? Do you have like specific information on there, and what does the website entail?
So the website is a work in progress. There's so much more to add to it. There's so much more um, that we can provide as far as information goes. But at this very moment, the website um, is well, shares the products. We have some deodorants. We have some natural deodorant. Might I add, since to distinguish between the natural and the unnatural, the chemicalized and the non-chemicalized deodorants. We have natural deodorant. We have natural toothpaste, natural hand sanitizer, um, and I'm looking for more products to share. So the products that we will be sharing are just expansive. I want at this point to be able um, to share an array of products from things that we can eat to just better our health in general, from supplements to vitamins, as well as products that we can put on our skin,
Right.
such as deodorants and shea butters and things like that. As far as the educational component of it, um, we will be sharing. I just finalized 4 brochures. We have an Eat to Live section on the website, which is now changing and shifting into the Eat to Nourish side. For like Eat to Live, we say that, but um, where we eat to nourish. So I wanted to highlight Eat to Nourish. So we have foods to eat, alkaline foods that are really good for the body, really good at just maintaining a body state of natural homeostasis. Our body naturally fights to be well, and will be well, as so we intention. So we have foods that are a list of foods from the Dr. Sebi food list that we wanted to get out to the people so that they know the foods that are best for their bodies. That's a big one, and I thought should be the first one. So that is the first brochure, or at least one of the first brochures. There's been many renditions of this initiative, as well as ingredients to avoid. Um, there's so much that's in our food that is um, hands down just not good for our well-being.
Right.
And I balance between the fact that these companies are, one, being malicious as hell, and two, going a cheaper route.
Right.
Sometimes it's and you're in a space of profit and greed, then you're gonna have companies that could use another product, but because they're trying to balance their budget sheets, they're gonna go with a different product.
Right.
So we got ingredients to avoid. Next, we have the food combinations, which is a new one I just finalized, and it's under process. So we'll be printing those out and sharing them with the community. And it's food combinations. So for all who do not know, food combinations are very important because, and I'm still working on it. So bear with me as I grab the knowledge. It's essentially recognizing that certain foods go with certain foods.
Right.
Like foods go with like foods. For as far as fruits, there's subacidic fruits, there's acidic fruits, and there's non-acidic fruits. As far as starches, as far as meats and different things that people add to their diets, certain things do not go together because your stomach will tell you it don't go together. Your stomach will tell you it don't go together. And that's one thing I would encourage too, listening to your body. Sometimes we get in a space where it's whatever. I know I'm just about to throw down on this, whatever it is, I'm about to throw down, but I just want to encourage, know your body to the fullest. Every ache, every pain is coming from somewhere. Trace it, track it, know it. Specifically as it relates to eating. know what your body's doing, because it's telling you something. It's sending a message. It's intelligent. Matter of fact, it's been here for trillions of years, so it knows. And last but not least, is the men's health. And I just found this information recently. And some things that I do is I get information and then I relay it. So to just put it out.
Right.
So sometimes I don't even get to delve into the knowledge or the information of the information. I just have to like put it out and share it. That's sometimes how I feel. And then I connect it to the components of what I know, what I think I know, what I don't know, and kind of just piece it together. So the last one is men's health and prostate. African men in the United States, known as African American, known as Black, known as God, known as everything, has the experience of prostate cancer at one of the highest rates, in this country, as far as any other racial groups, ethnic groups, however you want to, the names just, but and we experience prostate cancer at a higher rate. So I definitely have part 1 and part 2 of the men's health prostate, how to heal the prostate, what vitamins you can take to heal the prostate, what herbs you could take to heal the prostate, what foods to eat to heal the prostate, what foods not to eat that damages the prostate, just information in the brochures. And I would just piggyback off just the brochures in general. And I think sometimes, let me know if I'm belaboring.
You're good. You're good.
Sometimes, and I've had to sit with brochures for a while. I'm like, is this brochures is the right? But I'm being called to make these brochures. Brochures have for so long not given us the proper information that we needed, that I think people turn a blind eye to brochures. They put them in the hospital waiting rooms. I remember seeing them running around before before I saw my pediatrician, and just looking at them like they put somebody on the front cover
Right.
that maybe doesn't even have a correlation or connection with us to even know that. And so, long story short, the brochures, I feel like through this lens, through the Afrocentric lens, is going to help us more than brochures through a European or a European way of looking at the body, because our bodies are different. That's just like, that's anything in the world. Everything is not the same. Everything should not be treated the same. Everybody should not take the same thing and be expected to have the same result.
Right.
So that's the intention, the desires, and the decision behind putting brochures out there, which is on the website, which is one of many facets of the website, from the products to the information, and that's one thing we highlight: awareness, access, and accountability. So that's the website. Awareness, which is the information; access, which is the access to the fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, eventually, as well as the products and services, and the accountability prong. We're still working on accountability. Now, I think that starts with self. So no, that starts with self. So yeah, that's the website for you.
Definitely. And all the viewers watching this, definitely check out the website. I'm gonna leave that link in the description. Definitely very educational. Me personally, I didn't even know about food combinations. Like, I remember part of the brochure I looked at as far as like, going to the juice bar, how they combine a lot of different fruits and, vegetables. I wasn't really aware of, the acidic fruits versus, the non-acidic, and, what that does to the body. So definitely a lot of information there. And, again, I appreciate you for all you're doing. And, definitely feels like I'm back in school as far as, all the education that's coming from, from your end. So, it's definitely dope.
Bless, bless. Appreciate that.
No, for sure.
Yeah, appreciate that.
So 2022, what's in store? I know you got a lot cooking. You definitely got your hands in a lot of places, but what's the expectation for the Sojourn Market?
Um, it comes and flows and goes and comes. I'm still figuring out what that looks like. We highlighted a very important part that is near and dear to me, um, especially because I can sit in my own quarters and produce it and read and learn and grab information and share it and decide what products to put on the website. I can do that in my own quarters. As far as like what to be out there in the middle of the hood, giving and sharing,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure yet. But as far as what I'm doing to not only make sure that I'm in a good space to be able to show up in those spaces, but um, essentially really being in a space to um, as far as the new season, um, sharing information. That's where I'm at. Sharing information and then getting the resources that are suitable for building in the community. As you know, as everybody knows, it takes money to build and to put something forth. Um, and so, with that, there is a requirement that that I solidify sufficient income to make some of those desires true.
Right.
Um, so um, so with that, um, a plus to the work that I have been working on um, is a children's book. Is a book for children to grasp at an early age the importance of eating, eating well, healing, and um, solving solving their own problem and not asking somebody else to solve their problem for them. A lot of the times we are indoctrinated to believe that the doctor heals me. And I remember speaking to people in school, and there was this talk about like doc, like heal me, and I go to the doctors for healing, and they do that for me. It's like no, you do that. The connection that you have with Source, God, the universe, nature, um, that's your healing. Somebody else external from you is not healing you, maybe giving you the information for you to do it yourself, but they're not healing you. So we want to, for as far as the youth is concerned, um, I truly believe that it's important that they recognize that they have the resources and will have the resources to heal themselves. Heal thyself is the message. And so with that children's book, I imagine that to be all around, to go all around the country and back. I imagine that to be in schools, read, just like we read Dr. Seuss, and we hold the book out and we show the class, they, pass it around. I expect the youth to know, what grows in this garden that's going to actually heal me.
Right.
What grows in this garden to help soothe my stomach, to instead of running to the medicine cabinet, so it be in the bathroom out of all places. um why not go out to the garden? And so that's just a little hint at the book. The children will begin to see that um, they are their healers.
Definitely. That's major. And definitely, that would be great, for at the early age to be, exposed to something different that's, not being taught, on the regular. It feels like, if you look back, elementary school is almost like going through the motions, 1+1 is 2, this is that, but it's very not, it's not really more, it's not from an open-minded perspective. And, I think that's great. You're trying to, change the narrative. So, I wish you all the best with that. And,
Nice, thank you.
I know you just mentioned, healing. It seems like, in today's day and age, a lot more people are trying to tap into the holistic healing and, just being able to try like natural remedies and just different things to, cleanse, detox, and, heal. So what advice would you give, to people who are trying to get into that realm as far as, getting more into the holistic healing?
Um, as far as getting into holistic healing, I found that thing through ad nauseum and through continuous repetition, encouraging people to eat better, that it starts with the person deciding it for themselves. There is nothing like beating, and not that we would ever want to beat a horse. There's nothing like beating a dead horse and or trying to take someone to the water to sup for themselves. They have to be in a space where they're ready to get up and go or ready to sup for themselves.
Right.
So I'm still grabbing at that and figuring out how is my response essentially from that truth. What angle will I address this issue at now, considering that? And I believe that it's really coming from a space where people will show up when they are ready. People will show up when they are ready. And I think it's both an inner call as well as a verbal call. Some of the things that we see, some of the things that we experience starts from within before we'd even utter it.
Right.
And so it speaks to it being just on a deeper level. So when our souls, when our hearts, when our bodies, when everything says that, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gonna put my foot down and I'm gonna step in a better direction for myself, for my family, for my community. I think that's when we'll see a change health wise within our global society. Because that translates to every facet of life is how the person's wellness. Um, I hope that answers your question.
No, definitely 100%. Yeah, appreciate that answer. No, so yeah, Tim, I appreciate you coming on. Where can the viewers find you and, tap into what you got going on?
So you can tap into, and let me back up and say I appreciate you for listening. I appreciate you for following, um, for for inviting me, and as well as I appreciate the viewers for listening. And um, you can find me at the Sojourn Market on Instagram. That's the Sojourn, Sojourn Market, Market, as well as on our website, Sojourn Markets, plural, Sojourn Markets.com. Yeah, that's where we at right now, and we will be back and in the community. So I'll share those addresses and address when the time arises.
So,
But again, I appreciate you for having me, for inviting me, for the 8 in the back, which signifies the number I've been seeing lately. And I mean, it's not quite an 8, but it visually
right.
represents to me an 8, and just transformation in general. So appreciate you and your platform.
Definitely. Yeah, appreciate you again. It was great, you just instilling all the knowledge and, I look forward to what you got going on for the spring and, all the best. We'll definitely stay in touch.
Let's keep the connect.
Definitely.
All
Peace.
right. Peace and blessings.